Hello everybody, it's Peter the Rock. It's Friday the 26th of April, which is a week since my last HS2 exploration. I'm at the path that leads down to where the viaduct, the HS2 viaduct, crosses the Grand Union Canal. There's some noise coming from the other side of this fence. Sounds like a fire or an animal, not sure, but I shouldn't be concerned about that. Let's have a little bit of a pan round. It's becoming a regular thing, this, and there are two viewing spots along this path that I can make out. This one is the nearest, or the furthest east, and in my previous video I showed you that Dominique has completely left the environs, which is French for the neighbourhood of the canal. So that's progress. So let's see what's going on now. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which will be near to knocking off time. I don't know what hours these people work. Oh goodness me, that is amazing. That is fantastic. I didn't expect to see that. Wow. You can see that the pier number 18, which is the pier that I saw having a segment installed, which is in front of me there, and pier number 17 are almost linked. And there's something going on in the middle, and I don't know what it is. I've heard the crane, or Dominique, and its the cranes that run along it chugging away a bit. So there's been a lot of progress, as I thought there would be, on pier, I think that's 17 in front of me now. I'm sure Steve Walker or somebody will tell me, but anyway, that's the one that's not on the canal, and the one next to it is on the canal, which I think is number 19. So that's 18, that should be 17 by my calculations are correct. And straight ahead of me there is a blue cherry picker beeping away, as they do when they go backwards. Now the spiral staircases are both there in similar places relative to Dominique rather than the viaduct. So they must every now and then, when the viaduct moves, move the spiral staircases, which can't be very easy, I wouldn't have thought. It's going to require a lot of manual humping of, metal work. Can't be cheap. But here, excitingly, there is quite a good view of the nearby piers. Now, as the weeks go by in the future, those piers will be connected up with the viaduct trackway, as I call it. I'll try and see what's going on in this last gap between the two piers. It looks like a symmetrical gap, neither nearer to one pier nor the other. Another thing that I'm not sure about are these massive sort of black, they look like sort of black cloths attached underneath the piers. I'm not sure what they're doing. Maybe somebody in the comments might have an idea. I just don't know. Anyway, I was hoping to arrive at an appropriate moment. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. You can never tell with these things. So let's sort of watch for another minute or so, see if anything happens in the middle between these two piers. I hadn't seen that before. That yellow thing has been lowered into the gap. So maybe they're preparing the gap for the insertion of the next segment. And there it is, just above the pier nearest to Birmingham. There is the segment. It is sideways on to us, and I think it's being slightly lowered. Is that my imagination? I think it is. That's exciting. Now, my theory is that will now be moved via the crane supporting it, moved towards the gap, twisted through 90 degrees and lowered into the gap. Wouldn't that be exciting if that's happening? I was going to say on my watch, but who do I think I am? I'm just an ordinary bloke watching a bit of engineering. Anyway, they are lowering this segment. Maybe, well, there are two options here. One is they've had enough for the week, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday, they're just lowering it to put it down so they can all go home and have their supper or whatever they do. Or maybe they're preparing to move it towards London, which is in that direction. So I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll stop this video here because it's about 6 minutes in now, and go to the next viewing point. There are only 2 viewing points along this bit of the lake. No ducks in sight, which is a shame. I'll go to the next viewing point and start another video if there's movement with that segment, which is definitely being lowered onto the trackway, which is probably not an encouraging sign, because that might mean that's it for this week. Anyway, Peter the Rock, Friday the 26th of April. Doesn't time fly? It's a week since the last one. Thanks a lot for watching. Like and subscribe. Cheers.